Hey there, guys. How are you? Welcome to a brand new Flick Live. I'm here with Chris Stuckman. We're going to talk about movies. And the first thing I want to ask you, Chris, is do you want to see my impression of a hot dog?
Oh, of course.
And that was my tribute to Robin Williams. And we'll talk about Robin Williams a little bit more here in a few minutes. And we're going to take live Q&A questions from everyone once everyone jumps in here. But how are you doing today, Stuckman?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing just fine. I just had a lot of Ovaltine, and I'm feeling good. I don't know why that makes me feel good, but good old Ovaltine, man. I don't know. It's my favorite chocolate milk ever.
It's good for you because it has vitamins in it.
Yeah, it's like I feel okay drinking it. It's like okay, I can drink 24 ounces of Ovaltine. I use 1% milk, so it's not like really fattening. And then there's a lot of vitamins in it, so it's actually like enjoyable to drink as well. It's not just chocolate milk.
I I feel like we're in the Christmas story right now, and you're Ralph. You're talking about your Ovaltine, um,
Oh,
and I
fudge.
just start rubbing a leg lamp for no reason. By the way, speaking of that leg lamp in the Christmas story, I always wanted one of those.
Um, it aroused me as a child.
Yeah, those fishnet stockings on that plastic leg. It's just something about that. It's just a little bit sexy, a little bit magical, and it's just hard plastic. I don't know. Let's talk about something else now.
It's a little bit matte, it's a little bit dark, it's a little bit gritty, but I like it.
All right, so let's talk about this. Now, Robin Williams, beloved comedic actor. There was something about Robin Williams. He always just made me feel better when I watch his movies.
Yeah, same with me. I talked about it in that video I made, and I just wanted to make like a video where I didn't, seem like I was editing myself for being all like, here's me making a video. Oh, I'm so energetic right now. I was just like, I'm just gonna make a video where I just say how I feel, and yeah, it was annoying being in the theater like about to watch a movie and then hearing about that and then having to watch like The Giver for the next 100
Yeah,
minutes. Like, well, all I'm thinking about right now is how much it sucks that Robin Williams died. So
I
where were
know.
you when
It's.
you found out?
I think I woke up, I checked my phone, and then I seen a few people mention it. I was like, oh, is this one of those fucking hoaxes again? Because that's just irritating. And I got on there, and it was legit, and I was like, damn, dude. And the thing about that is, when Robin Williams died, I mean, both of us were the same age nearly, and we grew up with all the same movies, and it felt like a little piece of my childhood just kind of faded away, and I just felt older than I really, it felt like I was getting
Yeah.
old in life.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking that lately too, and it's funny because like, you- it's not like he was supposed to die. Like he's only 63,
Hmm.
and it felt like, oh, well, I didn't expect that to happen right now. And I think it is kind of like that, where you feel like certain parts of things you grew up with are just attached to you, and then it's funny. The actor who played Rufio in Hook wrote like an open letter tribute, and he said something really similar. He was like, I feel like part of my childhood just ended, and I have to actually grow up now.
I know, Rufio. And speaking of Rufio,
Rufio.
in the movie Hook, in my mind, Robin Williams went off to Neverland to become Peter Pan for the rest, for the eternity. And
Hmm.
I just want to think happy thoughts.
Right, he's just out there doing bangarang over and over again.
Yeah. I hate Peter Pan. I want a cookie.
Bangarang.
I want a party. I want a cookie. Me. I. And then you have Robin Williams and his little green panties flying around with too much mousse in his hair. But I want to
Don't try
watch
to stop me, Smee. Don't try to stop me, Smee. Try to stop me,
me.
Smee.
Get your
Try to
ass out.
stop me.
Run Home Jack. All right, but anyway, I want to watch the movie Hook. And you know what other movie? It's a little bit eerie to think about it now. What Dreams May Come, I believe, is the movie he made in
Yeah.
like the late '90s, where he
Hmm.
essentially dies and he goes into like heaven and hell, and that I don't know. It's kind of like it makes you wonder if he's on that same journey right now.
It's funny. I just showed a friend of mine 1 hour photo, like from some like 5 days ago or something. I don't know, and he really responded to it. He was like, "Wow, I've never seen Robin Williams that dark before." I was like, "Yeah, you should watch Insomnia, also." But it was weird because I actually forgot to mention 1 Hour Photo and Insomnia in my video because I was just focusing on the ones that made me happy. I forgot about some of his more serious roles.
Well, those are kind of dark. I mean, who wants to think about Robin Williams sitting down in someone else's toilet?
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
movies like Aladdin, Hook, Jack. Say what you will about Jack, I still like it.
Yeah, Bill
Um,
Cosby tweeted a photo of he was like, "I'm stunned. I'm Bill Cosby," and they had like a photo of Bill Cosby and Robin Williams.
oh, really? Jello
Yeah.
pudding cups and cookies. Name a few other Robin Williams movies that you really enjoy. Name some random ones. We'll talk about 'em.
Awakenings. I love Awakenings. Came out in 1990 with Robert De Niro. I love that movie.
See, I think I've seen that once on HBO.
It's so good, dude.
Is it?
It's so good. Good Will Hunting, of course.
Oh yeah, Good Will Hunting. That's phenomenal.
I was at Best Buy today with a friend of mine, and we were just looking through the 7.99 bin, and he just pulled out Good Will Hunting, and he was like,
A tear trickled down his eye.
yeah,
How about Mrs. Doubtfire? Now, I've always had the
yeah,
weird thing about Mrs. Doubtfire, and even as a kid when I watched this, and I think people are coming to the same conclusion nowadays. When you really break down Mrs. Doubtfire, it was the most creepy, psychotic fucking movie ever. I mean, it was essentially like the movie Psycho, but for an hour and a half, rather than just finding out he's wearing his mother's, clothes, going in the shower, killing women.
yeah. That's what I was saying that in my video. I was like, if they had announced that like Robin Williams plays a man who dresses up as a woman to bring his family back together, I'd be like, okay, that's a terrible idea.
Mhm.
But he made it work, and he did that one scene where he has the stuff on. He's like, oh, he has like all the whipped cream.
Oh!
Yes, what is it? What is it? The cream on
Whipped
stick?
cream, marine pie,
Yeah.
lemon pie, or something.
Oh,
Uh,
that movie. And Pierce
uh,
Brosnan, of course, was in that.
yeah. And what about the guy who plays his brother in the movie, his gay hairdresser brother?
I
Oh
don't
my
remember.
God! The
Who
same
is
guy
the
was in
guy?
Independence
Is the guy
Day.
from Independence Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match.
I had to
Uh,
call my mother. I had to call my lawyer. Forget my lawyer.
Line of Sight. I don't. We're talking about Independence Day too much, but yeah, Robin Williams. I mean, that guy just had that comedic, funny bone that just it could get you every time. It was a feel good. Every time I see that guy on the screen, it just made me feel better about who I am.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
It's a terrible loss.
it is, man. And the genie from Aladdin. You'll always be a
Yeah.
prince to me.
Yeah,
Streetwear.
it sucks, man. It's we still got a few movies of his still coming out. That's going to be odd.
Oh, which ones?
Well, Night at the Museum in December, Night at the Museum 3. Hopefully it's not terrible, but if it follows with the same suit of the other two, it probably
Yeah.
will be. He voices a dog in this upcoming movie called like anything something or other. I forget what it's called. And then he's in a movie with like Joel McHale, who and so I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Hmm.
I know I read an article that said he was dealing with a lot of depression based off the fact that like, well, his TV show got canceled after one season. His new movie that he was like really proud of, Angriest Man in Brooklyn, got like panned by the critics. I didn't see it, and it
Yeah.
barely even opened in theaters. So he was not in a good spot.
Yeah, they say comedians are usually the most depressed people. That's why they do comedy because they want to try to run away from the depression, essentially. But did you ever see the movie World's Greatest Dad?
I've seen parts of it. I
Yeah,
haven't got to see the whole thing. I know it's got some interesting subject matter
to say
in
the least.
relation to what actually happened, I guess.
Except his son is the one who kind of did it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I guess it was an accident. He was, yeah. Um, yeah, but the thing about that movie is if you guys want to see Robin Williams' ass, watch that movie. He jumps off a diving board into the water at the very end. It's a
Well,
sweet.
that's a glowing recommendation.
Hey, that's what I would put on the movie poster if it was mine. But it's a really funny movie. His kid in that movie is like this asshole. He just hates everything.
Yeah, I watched the first scene. I was like, oh my God, I can't take this kid.
I know
But
he's bash his skull in against a hard wooden table.
yeah, I was just thinking like the quote on the poster. You get to see his ass, John Flickster.
I like how my name's John Flickster too.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
my stage name.
yeah.
Yeah, I was actually in the porn industry for a couple years. That was my name I used. I just
Johnny
kept going.
Steele.
Johnny the Flickster Steel Rod.
Oh my.
Uh, all right. So let's take a few Q&A questions here and jump into that. Uh, hey, John and Chris, what is your favorite Robin Williams moment?
Wow.
Where do you begin with that one, huh?
Well, I mean, like in regards to like dramatic power, I mean, like a lot of the scenes in Good Will Hunting. The "It's Not Your Fault" scene, obviously, is amazing. Um, his scene in Insomnia when he meets Al Pacino face to face is like incredible. I love that scene so much. Yeah, I just something about Insomnia really. It was just like, okay, look there. You give a good director in the hands of two guys who, in all honesty, both of those actors, their later careers didn't go so well. Al
Mhm.
Pacino's still hasn't really. I mean, I guess he's had some success in TV movies, but he hasn't really made like a great movie in a while.
Yeah.
Um,
Hoo-ha, motherfucker.
right. And it was funny because I was watching the other day, yesterday, the AFI Lifetime Achievement Award was given to Al Pacino a few years back, and Robin Williams did the introduction for it. He did like the opening
Mhm.
monologue for it, and he was just like, "Hoorah! What does that even mean? It's just a phrase. It doesn't mean anything. What does that mean? Hoorah! You got an Oscar for that, motherfucker!"
I don't want the labor pains, I just want the baby. Yeah, did you ever see Dead Poets Society?
Oh yeah, Dead Poet Society is pretty. The ending made me cry a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, as far as my favorite Robin Williams moment goes, I don't even know where to begin. I truly do not. I'm going to talk about a little underrated movie not no one talks about, but I remember watching it in the theater with my dad, and it was one of those memories I always stuck to. It was called Toys with Robin Williams,
Hmm.
and it's like this bizarre movie where it works in a toy factory, and there's so many scenes in that movie where I don't know. I kind of want to go back and watch it right now. Um, but
I've heard of
just
that movie. I've never seen it though.
Yeah, it's a bizarre movie. It has like LL Cool J in it, and like yeah, but something about that movie. I really liked his performance in that movie.
I never. There's a few I still haven't seen. I haven't seen Death to Smoochie.
Me
Um,
neither.
a very very underrated. Not really underrated. It's okay, but it's really unknown movie he did called The Night Listener.
Mm,
That's another
yeah,
one of his more serious roles. It's really unknown. Like
yeah,
not too many people ever talk about that movie, and it was
yeah,
okay. It was all right.
yeah. I watched some of it. It made me feel damp inside. I mean, Rob Williams can do the dark, evil kind of creepy roles. He does them very well, but I just prefer him in the comedic ones. So.
Yeah, I mean that's his forte.
What are your thoughts on Aladdin? Street Rat, Rift Raft. I don't buy that. My favorite Disney movie. I don't know how you feel about it.
It's not my favorite Disney movie, but it is definitely a great one for sure. I grew up watching Aladdin and playing the Aladdin game. I think was it on Super Nintendo? I think it was on Super
Yeah,
Nintendo.
yes, it was. It's fucking awful. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it was fun. There was like a phase of Disney Super NES games. There was like the Lion King game
I know, but that's
where like
also awful.
Timon would come in at the end and go, "It starts," and then the game would start.
What is your favorite Disney animated movie
Toy Story,
besides the Pixar ones?
Lion King.
Fair enough. I'm still gonna go with Aladdin. I like Sword in the Stone also.
Hmm.
I think it's underrated. Okay, so we talked about Robin Williams for a little bit. We might jump back onto the subject. Some more questions here. Jumping up. Let's see. What are your thoughts on the new Aquaman movie that's in the works? What? He's gonna.
No, my thoughts are that if they get it right, they get it right. If they get it wrong, it's gonna be awful.
Yeah, it's a very fine line there, and it's like I don't know how much of the movie is gonna take place like underwater, and like is he gonna fucking talk to fish, and it
Yeah.
can be very cool and visually stunning. What's the guy that got
Like
to
I've
play him?
seen I've seen some of the new comics with him, and I know he's like a badass and all and
Yeah,
everything. I'm just saying, if they get it right, it will be cool.
yeah.
But if they don't, it will be awful. But I'm hoping that they've. I just feel like it's funny. I'm gonna like kind of like give like a little uh, promotional thing. I'm doing my next Hilariosity review is going to be for Steel, which is with Shaq, and it was like a DC Comics movie, in the 90s. And like back then, I'm doing a little bit of research right now about like the way they were trying to approach comic book movies then, and it's incredible how just they were just fucking everything up, and now they're really starting to understand like where comic book movies should be and everything.
Hmm.
And that's why I think they'll get Aquaman right if they really, because it seems like they're really starting to get like how it should be. Like back in the 90s, oh my god, especially Steel, shit, man. I mean that movie, it's like it doesn't even feel like a DC Comics movie. It just feels like Shaq running around being Shaq in a rubber suit, looks like Steel.
Feels like an SNL parody with fucking Shaq in a big tinfoil suit. And you know the other thing about the 90s? Did you ever notice the comic book movies that they went to make? They weren't like the big ones. They weren't like, let's remake this version of like Captain America. Well, they made a Captain America movie, but they made Steel, they made Spawn. They were making like the oddball characters.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. They did Spawn. I mean, of course, they did the Batmans, but
Yeah.
it's but yeah, they were going for some of the more strange ones, and even back like even before that, they were still trying to do stuff. Like there was all these live action TV shows, like the live action Hulk, the live action Spider-Man. Uh, there was a Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren, I
Oh
think.
god, I think that came out like 1988 or 7.
Yeah,
I
and
want.
so
You
they
know what's
were always
funny?
trying, and it just never really.
The only thing I remember about that Punisher movie from the 80s with Dolph Lundgren is he walks around the sewers a lot in the movie, like a fucking Ninja Turtle or something.
I am the Punisher. Yeah, it'll break you.
He just looks like he's about to have a stroke any moment now. Here's a simple yes or no question for you. Would you lick Emma Watson's toes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let's go past that one. Do you guys have a favorite Quentin Tarantino movie? I would go with I think overall Pulp Fiction, but right after that it's going to be Django Unchained. For me, that's just the Western I wanted and needed, and every scene in that movie. When you think about movies that have like a good scene here and there, nothing but memorable good scenes in the movie Django Unchained.
No, it's a great movie. I love it. But I kind of have a soft spot for Inglorious Bastards.
I see. I like it. I can respect it, but it wasn't one of my favorites.
I watched it again recently. I love that movie. It's like, yeah, there are some slow parts, where where I guess the part about the movie that I dislike the most is the German soldier continuously, annoyingly trying to woo Melanie Laurent's character over and over and over and over. And I'm like, okay, my gosh, you're annoying. But his performance was great. It was just the character. It was just like very adamantly, I'm going to pursue you, and she's like, I don't want to be with you. I'm a Jew and you're a Nazi, and that's not really good right now. But
When you're a German hate monger, you don't take no for an answer.
oh, I know, trust me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
I know about that, but it's my dad was born in Germany, so I've heard plenty of stories of how things were.
no,
But
yeah.
but yeah, no, like seriously, it's I don't know, I just love Inglourious Basterds. That scene where Brad Pitt just sits down and he's like, now you're gonna take your little wiener schnitzel licking finger and point out right there on that map where your men are. Or, oh, the bear Jew over there is gonna slap your head and beat you to death with it.
You see. Okay, since you just talked about a scene, the pawn shop scene in Pulp Fiction. I remember
Incredible.
watching that movie as a kid, and that scene always stuck with me. And every time I go into a pawn shop, I look around for a gimp laying in a trunk, and I always try to. If I go into a pawn shop, my first thing I see is like I look for a samurai sword or a chainsaw on the wall just in case.
Yep, I look for a sword too. And
Yeah.
when I go into a pawn shop, I'm like, oh, there's a sword on the wall? Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. John, when are we going to do your TMNT movie night? I edited the video. It took 9 hours last night. My computer froze halfway through it. I literally took my monitor, grabbed it, both my hands, squeezing it, just screaming like a little girl. Then I redid everything. It took 9 hours. It should be up tomorrow, so look out for that over there on the FlickPig channel. Here's an interesting question. Who will win in a ladder match between the two of you?
You'll have to explain to me what a ladder match is.
You never watched wrestling as a kid? WWE ladder match. We got to climb a ladder, grab the championship belt. Whoever gets it first wins.
Well, I'm taller, but you're probably more agile, so.
I'd probably do a double arm DDT on you. Then I do like the Stone Cold Stunner, and then I put you through a table and beat you with a chair.
See, there's a part of me that likes wrestling because when I was younger, I was like, "What's that? I don't know if I'm allowed to watch that." And I would like kind of be interested in it, but then the other part of me was like, those are screaming, sweaty men in underwear who are just jumping around, and I was like, ah,
And it
it's
was
not really.
and it was glorious.
I mean, I'll be honest. Even when I was a kid, I didn't enjoy watching shirtless men rub themselves together. I don't know. It's just not my
See,
thing.
I was
However, I
just
did watch female wrestling from time to time because that indeed is my thing.
that's called porn. Um,
Well, yes, it is, but
and,
but gratefully, it's on television for children to see worldwide.
And in that case, the more baby oil, the better.
Yes.
Yeah, I always liked wrestling. It was like theatricality, sportsmanship, showmanship. It just had all these weird elements. But yeah, guys naked and baby oil.
I'll tell you what, though, the movie The Wrestler did make me respect wrestlers a little bit more.
Oh yeah, dude. The God, I was just thinking about that movie the other day and how much juice Mickey Rourke took for that role. I mean, the guy was juiced up. I mean, he was on something. I mean, it was
Well,
clearly
he's a
obvious.
large man, that's for sure.
He's a large man.
He was great in that movie, though.
Oh, if not best. They originally wanted Nicolas Cage to do that role.
That would be a completely different movie.
I'm gonna
That's for
take you out
sure.
there and wrestle you. Um,
I just want my daughter back.
There's a man out there with his finger in a bone. Did you watch that new Schwarzenegger trailer where he's like zombies? I didn't watch it yet.
I didn't know the trailer was released. I thought it was just images
Oh, maybe it was images. See, that shows what I know about it.
because I'm interested in that.
What are you doing? The zombies outside. We gotta stay in here.
Yes, that's what the movie will be like.
That's literally the fucking movie right there.
I want to see him do a movie where he doesn't just repeat his catchphrases from movies from the 80s.
Oh, you mean so you don't want Expendables 3?
Yeah, I don't want to. I wanted to do it like a role where he's just actually playing a character, and
Mhm.
I mean, I guess Sabotage was that definitely. He was good in Sabotage. The movie sucked, but he was good.
Yeah, I'd like to see Arnie do some subtle acting or
Yeah,
attempt to do some acting. Uh,
he was legitimately good in Sabotage. Like I would actually say Sabotage is one of his best performances ever. It's
oh,
just
really?
the movie around him sucked. That's all.
I still see. I never got a chance to see that. Is that on Blu-ray right now?
Yes, it came out.
See, that's one of those Redbox rentals you watch when it's a rainy day. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. You can't sleep, and you have nothing better to do.
And then you turn it on, and then you immediately fall asleep because it's so fucking boring.
Yeah, and then I just say fuck it. Speaking of that, I was almost going to go to Redbox tonight to get Need for Speed starring Aaron Paul. And I know it's going to be mediocre hog shit, not memorable, but I just wanted some good fluff that wouldn't challenge my brain so I
Yeah,
could
I know what you mean.
and just eat some popcorn, you
I
know?
bought Anaconda on Blu-ray the other day for that exact reason.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. I'm okay with that movie John Voight, being eaten alive by a snake, but Ice Cube, I can't do it, man. I just can't watch him in a movie.
Isn't there a part where he takes an axe to the snake's head and then goes like, "Yeah, bitch."
Of course there is. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the only movie I've ever liked Ice Cube in was like Boys in the Hood.
Oh, come on, you didn't like him in 22 Jump Street or 21 Jump Street?
I feel like anyone else could have done that role. I mean, I
I
feel
loved him in those movies. He was great in
yeah,
the 21 Jump Street movies.
I don't
That
know.
scene, the scene where he realizes that Jonah Hill's with the daughter, and he just like zooms in on his face, and he's like, "What?"
You just know that the original person they wanted to cast in that role was Sam L. Jackson. You just know that's who they actually wanted for the role, but they
I don't
couldn't
know.
get.
I'm not gonna say that. I just
Well, I'm gonna say it because that's typical Sam L. Jackson role, and it should have went to him. It would have been funnier.
okay.
You motherfuckers!
I will agree to disagree.
Would you rather have Ice Cube or Sam L. Jackson? That's my question.
Honestly, Ice Cube is fine in those movies, in my opinion.
Well, I'm gonna disagree.
Okay.
All right. Oh yeah, let's talk about this. Someone just mentioned it. We went out to LA a few weeks back. A press
Mhm.
junket, first of well, our both of our first press junkets. We were both scared shitless.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I wasn't
literally,
scared shitless, but I was scared.
you no, literally and figuratively. Don't lie.
I'm saying I was not scared shitless because I took like 3 shits before the
I,
interview.
I remember you telling me you're like, dude, I was shaking on the toilet. I was like, I
Like,
was.
look, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with all the people who are watching you right now. I don't care. Because I'm just myself. This is who I am. Um, like I had to go to the bathroom so bad. I was so nervous. I had to, go to the bathroom like really bad. I had to take a giant shit basically. And I realized we had like 10 more minutes before we had to start, and I was like, "Oh my God, what's going to happen?" And when I got down there, they were like, "We're running a little bit late. We're about a half an hour behind. I hope that's okay." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine." They walked off, and I was like, "Thank God I ran into the bathroom."
I remember you just looked like you were clenching your ass.
I basically
Well,
was.
I remember sitting there with everyone, and they're like, and the one chick's like, "Where's Chris at?" I'm like, he went to check something. I don't know. I knew what you were doing, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
was relieving myself.
it's better than doing it right in front of Sean Bean.
Yeah, seriously. So, how you doing there? Oh, oh, sorry about that, Sean.
And then that's how he dies in the interview. I mustard gas from Stuckman. But yeah, but they asked about it. And by the way, guys, both of our interviews are live on our channels. Mine's on the Flick Pick. Chris's is on his channel, Chris Stuckman. So check out the interviews. I think they went good. I think overall they went really good. I mean, I'm just glad I didn't sit there and stutter and shake and then like just pass out.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Yeah.
I was like, I really hope this goes well. Like when, Sean Bean just walks in and you're sitting there like, that's fucking Boromir. What the
Mhm.
hell is going on right now? And, because I'm still just, I, you and I do just talk about movies. That's what we do. We love movies and we talk about movies, and other people like to listen to us talk about movies, and it's fun to talk about movies. And then, oh, fuck, there's Sean Bean right in front of me. What the hell's going on?
There's fucking double oh
So.
006 looking me in the eyes.
Yeah, and I was like, I killed you 10,000 times in GoldenEye 64, but there you are.
Exactly. I just watched The Island, directed by Michael Bay, and you died in that movie. Um, yeah, and then in well, never mind. I don't want to spoil anything, but I think he dies in another upcoming movie he's in. Actually, two upcoming movies that he's in, he dies. I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure it's a fact. Because one's based on a book and one's based on a classic play. So,
You think people are just gonna laugh when he's like, oh, and everyone just starts laughing?
uh, wait, let
Well,
me
if he
read
died
that.
like that, that would be pretty funny.
Someone says in the press junket, Sean Bean seemed more nervous than both of you combined.
That's what everyone's been telling me, actually, who I show it in real life. They're like, he seemed kind of nervous, and I'm like, you know, here's the honest truth. We were told that we were the last people that he was going to be talking to, and there was like 25 other people. So he has just been through 25 of these interviews, and he's answered questions all day, and he gets to us, and he's like, I just want to go home and sleep, probably.
Hmm.
Um, but some actors just aren't. They're not, comfortable with that, with the attention, I think.
Yeah, and they also said, he's kind of like the toughest interviewer out of the bunch, and I found him to be the most enjoyable because when he talks to you, you don't feel like you're getting that typical Hollywood bullshit. He feels like he's actually talking, giving a real conversation with thoughts and emotions, and you're just like, oh, I like talking to this guy. It's relaxing.
Yeah, the way they set him up, they were kind of like, I was like, is this going to be really hard? But just came in there. I asked him one question. He talked for like a minute without me saying anything else. It was awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. He was the most talkative one. I agree. And I had to get that death question in there, my last
Yeah,
question.
I'm jealous of that. I really am jealous of that you got that in there. It's just I didn't want to do it because I asked on Facebook like what questions do you guys think I should ask, and like 99% of them were like, do you die all the time? So I'm like, well, I don't want to just throw it in his face, but you did it in the best possible way. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was self-aware about it. I had to do it. Like I remember because when we were there was a guy that was coming around and he was like standing in the doorway saying 1 minute, whatever. And I remember Sean Bean was giving me an answer about something else. That guy came around and said 1 minute. I literally was like, "Oh, thanks. Okay, that's a great answer." And I jumped into the question because I was like, "I have 1 minute. I have to get this out."
You just interrupted him.
I didn't really interrupt him. I just kind of was like, "Oh, that's awesome," and then
Okay.
we went into that. But yeah, and then he choked me out after I turned the camera off. I cried. Do you think Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing?
um, I think you and I both have an opinion on this.
I have a very strong opinion on that,
I
and
do as well.
yeah.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll just sum it up to this. I don't want to sound like a weirdo conspiracy theorist that wears tinfoil hats, but I do think when you look at all the evidence and information, there's definitely a plausible thing there with Stanley Kubrick doing it, and the technology that he was using in 2001: A Space Odyssey and how advanced that was, and some of the things he was doing. He was actually working with NASA to develop 2001: A Space Odyssey. And then you look at some of the images and things about the moon landing, and it shows like foreground shots, and every foreground shot has a clear separation with a backdrop in it. Every one, and there's like reused images, like there's pictures of the moon landing, and there's like a rock here and something else there, and then they say it's a different angle, but it's the exact same formation and completely two different shots. And I think there's a lot of unanswered questions, definitely.
I agree with you entirely. I believe that we went to the moon. I just
Don't know if you want that
I'm an
today.
X-Files fan. I'm a big X-Files fan. So I like all that conspiracy shit sometimes, and I feel like that moon video may have been faked. And if you watch the movie Room 237 that talks about the documentary about The Shining, there is incredible amounts of like little hints in there that Kubrick put in the movie that feel very related to NASA and Apollo 13 and stuff like that, and all the way down to the kid Danny wearing a sweater that has a rocket ship on it that says Apollo 13 right on the fucking sweater.
Yep,
And
it's a lot of hints.
but the big thing is that the foreground to background separation. You can look at every single shot, and you can literally draw a line right where you can see the like from where the background starts and where the foreground begins, and you can see the same technique being used throughout 2001: A Space Odyssey, where an ape will be standing on some foreground thing, and you can see like the actual line through it, and then there's the backdrop, and you can see all of that technology and camera techniques being used in 2001: A Space Odyssey. And the biggest thing is that is a camera technique that is no longer used because it's so obvious now, and we've advanced past that in regards to technology.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're watching that, it's like that is old technology. And
Rear projection.
yes, that's what it's called. You got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I believe you went to the moon and everything. I don't know if that video is real.
Yeah. Maybe we did, but let's just, for the sake of argument's sake, we went to the moon, but for propaganda's sake, we had to show the American audience something, and we put that together.
Right,
You
because that
know,
was like in the middle of like all that stuff, like America and being in a race to
well,
do that and competition and stuff.
once Russia sent Sputnik into space, we had to do something.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like back to the point I said, there's literally, if you just Google search it, there's like images where like we took this in a different sector of the moon that's 500 feet away from this sector, and like in the two different pictures, there's literally the same little tiny rocks in the backdrop, like, and you couldn't just coincidentally have that happen. It's interesting stuff, and one day maybe we'll know the answer.
Yeah, really.
All right. Conspiracy theories, man. Don't get me started on the New World Order. I'm telling you, man, it's just scary stuff. All right, you're gonna have computer chips in your forearm. All right. How old are you guys? I'm 27, and you are.
I'm 26.
Oh, you're 26.
Yeah.
I thought. I get. Oh, you turned 27 in April, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all right. I'm older than you,
Yeah,
child.
you're older than me by what, like 6 months or something?
Respect your seniors. Hey, I was born the same year RoboCop came out and Predator.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. April. I was born in April, so I'm a year.
Oh, in a year. Okay.
Yeah. A lights, camera, Jackson question. I can't. It's too late. I don't even want to mention his name.
Yeah.
It'll just ruin everyone's night. Searching for some questions I haven't quite. John, aren't you tired of your PC freezing while you're editing? Get a Mac. No, my PC is actually functions fucking amazingly awesome. It's just the computer program I use that freezes up. My computer can run all day long. It's fine. The RAM's good. Everything's good to go. It's just I use Pinnacle, and I like what the program can do. It's simple to use, but it just glitches up. And I don't. It's like the people who developed the software for that editing program were fucking smoking, crack when they developed it, and they're like, I don't care if it works. Just put it out there. So
I
Pinnacle
like that
sucks.
comment though. Macs are good.
Yeah, Macs are great. iPhones are amazing. You can't even fucking download music on them or
Yeah, they
anything without
are.
paying for it. Yeah,
They're pretty good.
yeah, they're
Yes,
junk.
you can download music.
Everything is so Mac-nized. You can't download other apps. Everything's like it has to be Mac, made by
Well, if
Apple.
you want to get like a Samsung, so you can have like a giant fucking like tablet on your head every time you're on the phone, then go right ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know, I like my big tablet.
Oh, Jonathan.
All right. Uh, who would you like to see play Hannibal Lecter if there was a Silence of the Lambs remake? I don't. Who get the fucking top Anthony Hopkins? Hello, Clarice. When your daughter's laying on the slab, will it tickle you?
Well, they've already had like two other people play him, right? There was that Hannibal Rising movie, and now Mads Mikkelsen on the Hannibal TV show, and apparently he's great. So
Yeah, I would.
why not go with him, Mads Mikkelsen?
I'm not gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I think Mads Mikkelsen has the creepiness factor down.
Yeah. Um, Essentially, I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch was in a glass cage in Star Trek Into Darkness, so that's the closest we're gonna get to him playing Hannibal
He had
Lecter.
that deep, gravelly voice.
Oh yeah.
My people are on this ship. They must be set free.
My name is Cotton.
When I saw that scene in the theater, some guy behind me was like, "Yes."
It's like, oh, we didn't see that coming. The smartest thing they should have done with that movie is openly and just admitted Khan is in this movie. Khan is in the movie and market it that way.
Probably.
Because that secret unveil, it meant nothing.
Yeah, some people it did.
I don't know. I thought it just would have been better to straight up say Khan is in the movie and done a little bit more with it that made a little bit more sense.
God. But the problem is though they had filmed the whole movie as if he wasn't Khan.
Yeah.
Like he was Gary Mitchell or something like that. So that would make
Wasn't it Jonathan something?
I think it was Gary Mitchell. I don't know why I think that, but anyway,
I
that
think
would
it's Jonathan.
if everyone knew he was Khan, that would make that whole reveal plot story thing like not interesting.
Yeah, I think it should have. I think it should have been up there from the get-go. Um, what will you do with your Blu-ray collections when it all goes digital?
Well, here's the thing about digital. People have been saying that it will go digital for a long time. I mean, let's face it, not too many people buy CDs anymore. People do, of course, but guess what? Every single electronic store still has CDs.
And they're coming back too. Do you notice Walmart has more CDs now than they ever have, and they're like downsizing the movie section? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, friggin' LPs, records are
Yeah.
back. They make new records now. I mean, digital is definitely a thing, and I'll be honest, I don't get CDs. I'm all digital for my music. For my movies, though, I do like me some, uh, you know,
Physical media.
yes, actual things.
Yeah, the
Very
thing
nice.
is, streaming and downloading movies, especially streaming movies. I'm not against Netflix. I'm not against Amazon Prime or whatever instant video. Those are fine. But when you want to watch the highest quality format of a movie that you love on your 50-inch TV and you want to light up every fucking pixel on that TV, physical media is the only way to properly watch it and get the most out of the experience. Because when you have streaming services, will never give you full HD audio. It's never it's not as the audio will never be what it should be. And then you have streaming, and streaming is only as good as the internet service that's bringing it to your screen. So um, I think physical media, it'll always have a place. Maybe it might downsize a little bit, but I think it's always going to be around.
Yeah, it's like it makes sense for a friend of mine. I have a friend who works third shift, and he has, he works in a call center, and he has his tablet there and stuff, and he just brings the movies with him all night. Like that makes sense. Okay, I get it. But like for me, I'm not gonna watch a movie on some 2-inch screen. It's like I'm gonna get my plasma TV out and rock it.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the thing. And nowadays, there's this whole mass society of people, and they're like, I was like, oh, you see that movie? Yeah, I watched it on my phone, man. And it's like, that's not watching a movie. That's not how you enjoy. That's movies are about the experience and getting immersed into the story, not looking at your fucking little 2-inch phone. I agree.
Hmm.
Just that's the one thing that annoys me. I just can't. I don't know how people do it.
I agree with you.
Kind of makes me sick to my stomach just thinking about it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I know it makes me sick to my stomach too.
I want to go bash some fucking skulls in now. I'm gonna put my leather Warriors jacket on and prowl the neighborhood with a baseball bat. Um, by the way, speaking of the movie Warriors, you've seen that, haven't you?
Nope.
Dude, I thought we had to talk about this a long time. I don't know what just brought that up. Why did I even think of that? I don't know. Um, yeah, the Warriors, Baseball Furies, weird
I've never had the
70s movie.
opportunity to see that actually.
I'll tell you what, man. Next time you come by and you're in Indiana, that's gonna be the movie we watch.
Okay.
Last
It's not
time I
that I
watched.
want to, I just never had the opportunity.
Okay, awesome. So that'll be awesome. And last time we watched, what was the last movie we watched together? Vampire's Kiss.
Yep.
A B C. I never misspelled on anything. Not once. Not ever.
Yeah, and what else did we watch? Well, Over the Top was the previous time from that. And last time in LA, World's End was on TV.
Oh yeah, yeah. What was a good sign when I got there? I turned my TV on and The Dark Knight Rises was on, and Bane was sitting there giving his speech, and I was like, this was meant to be. It empowered me instantly, right there on the spot.
Liberation of Gotham.
These men have languished in black prison. Um, would you rather see a Point Break 2 or Over the Top 2? I'm gonna go. I think there's more room for entertainment there with Point Break 2. I mean, there's only so much you can do with arm wrestling and driving semis. So I'm gonna go with Point Break 2, and I'm kind of waiting. I haven't heard much about the remake they're actually working on right now lately.
Well, the hard thing about that question is like if you want to assume that they'll both not be as good, then you have to pick which one you want to disgrace less.
See, here's my weird thing. I don't care. I just like the concept of heist movies and arm wrestling. So either way, I'm gonna get some kind of weird form of entertainment out of it.
Yeah, a lot of people get offended by reboots. You're like, oh, they're rebooting it. It's so good. I'm like, well, look, the original is still the original. I mean, it's like, but I guess it's probably just because at this point I'm so dull to it because there's so many of them.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with what you said. And the thing is, I like the themes of movies, the original, so much. I like to relive that again with a remake, which 99% of the time remakes usually are watered down, bland things. Total Recall, there's a great example. But um, yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind reliving it one more time, even if it's slightly mediocre the second time around. um, Hey John, have you seen the movie Boyhood? If not, highly recommended. I've heard things about it. I don't feel like I could ever sit down and just watch that movie.
Hmm.
Um,
For me, it's definitely a one-time watch. It's one of those movies where you're watching it and you're like astounded by the 12-year thing, and it has a really heartfelt and true story with great performances that don't feel like movie performances. They don't feel like written dialogue. It all just feels very much so like cameras just so happen to capture people talking and hanging out, and that's really cool. But I'm just not seeing it have astounding replay value.
yeah, I mean, I know the essentials of it, and if from everyone I've talked to, that their opinion I slightly respect. It sounds like the concept's good, but they just pick boring fucking people to follow for 10 years.
Hmm. Yeah, I like Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette in it quite a bit. I think they did a great job in the movie. I've always liked Ethan Hawke, and he works with Richard Linklater a lot with his Before trilogy.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna watch it. I just don't think
Next question.
yeah. 2011 Warrior versus Drive. Oh shit.
I like Drive more as a film. I think they're both really good, but I like Drive more as a film.
I think Drive overall is a better film. I think it looks better. It's more memorable in a lot of ways. The only thing that made Warrior what it was Tom Hardy's performance and Nick Nolte's fucking voice.
It's a real nice thing when you have that boy in a tank, Tommy.
You went there when my mother was on a floor in a house with that heat puking of blood. Nah, you went somewhere getting drunk. So that's
Joel
my Tom.
Edgerton. You got to give me some love to Joel Edgerton. He was great in that movie too.
Oh, phenomenal! Yeah, everyone and all the performances are really good. It's just yeah, there were some storytelling elements, especially in the script, that I thought could have been a little bit slightly better. Not to say it was a bad movie. I
It
just
takes
think
a while to get going.
that, and my one problem with that movie Warrior, and it came out in 2011, so I'm going to talk about the ending of the movie and kind of spoil it for you guys, but who cares because the poster essentially gives it away.
I didn't
Um,
really.
yeah, hey, okay, he won. I always thought that Joel Edgerton's character in the movie should have been the one that beat Koba, the Russian guy. I didn't like the way the ending results worked out because I feel like he should have earned the win a little bit more at the finale because it felt like Tommy went through all the hard opponents.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, but didn't they set up that fight with him and Hardy like a lot?
they did, yeah. No,
Okay.
no, I'm saying I didn't mind them facing each other at the end. Wait, no, wasn't Joel Edgerton's one character the one who beat Koba?
I don't remember.
I don't fucking remember either.
I honestly don't remember that small detail about it. It's
Someone let
been
me know. I
been
remember.
3 years. Yeah, I don't remember that small, minute detail.
Yeah, I remember. I remember someone should have beat someone else, and it should have been. I don't know. I don't remember now. I think fuck it. Who cares? Let's keep going. How did you guys meet? That just sounds weird.
I actually remember.
I know. I remember too, and that's the weird thing. That's the.
Like, I was watching YouTube videos, and I had just watched this movie called Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood, and I've always liked this movie called Broken Arrow. It's so cheesy and so fun. And I just came across this guy who admittedly looked like a 15-year-old, and I was like, "Oh, this kid's cool."
Thanks, man.
But no, I'm kidding, of course.
Yeah.
Like, I could see your age was like 20, early 20s, so I was like,
Yeah.
"I'll talk to this guy." And I was like, and you mentioned Heartbreak Ridge and Broken Arrow in the same video, and I was like, "This guy is cool. I'm subscribing to him." And I think he left a comment. I was like, "Dude, that video was really cool," and he was like, "Whoa, man, thanks, man, hey."
Hey, man.
And yeah, I don't know. We Skyped a few times, and then fucking we. When did we meet?
I don't know. We Skyped a few times, and then I think I didn't meet you till 2012, 2011.
Yeah, was it before Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, it was. I came there. Oh, I remember the movie. Dude, we watched.
The
What?
Hobbit.
Yes.
Was it The Hobbit?
Nope. Nope. It was. What was that shitty movie about pregnancy?
Oh God, it
Remind
was
me.
what? Fuck. What to expect when you're expecting.
God damn it. Yeah. And then we watched Battleship.
That's right. You were supposed to come a week earlier though for what was it, the Avengers?
Was it the Avenger? Yeah, I just couldn't make it. It was a really bad time.
And so you just came and for fucking what to expect when you're expecting.
Yeah, yeah, fucking two dudes sitting in that movie, a packed theater too.
Yeah, I remember we had to sit in separate spots.
Yeah, it was so fucking packed. But yeah, that's weird. It could have been a worse movie. But what was the chick in that? What's the really Anna Kendrick? Oh my God.
Cameron Diaz, Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, well, Anna Kendrick. I just want to. God. 5 minutes. I'd only need 20 seconds.
Okay.
um, Caesar lets Koba free fall to his death. I think we're talking about two different movies. I'm talking about Koba from the movie Warrior, who was played by Kurt Angle, the wrestler. Uh, John, you need to watch some action scenes on the movie Singham on YouTube.
Hmm.
Singham. Is that shitty like Korean kung fu movie?
I don't know, but I saw the greatest like funny fight scene the other day. It's this guy, I can't pronounce his name, but apparently he is a very famous action star in the country of Turkey.
Oh yeah.
And just type in like Turkish action star or
Does he do a
something.
lot of kicks?
Yes.
I watch it. He's just randomly kicking these two guys that keep getting back up, and he just keeps
That's
going.
it. That's the one. He's like and the but the kicks sound like shotgun bolt, like just it's like amazing.
Yeah, I want to be that guy when I grow up. Yeah. All right. Who do you think is the most overrated actor or actress? Yeah,
Actress. I know what
you,
you're gonna say.
you know what? Say her name. I want to
Meryl
hear you.
Streep.
Meryl Streep. Damn it. Won all these awards, but I can't stand to watch her in a movie. I don't think she's bad. She's just like the go-to chick for the demographic of 45 and over.
Overrated actor and actress, man. That's Meryl Streep is, okay, look. She's obviously talented. She's been in many movies for a long time. I'm not in any way degrading her. I just don't like when people worship actors. It's like, okay, I get it. They're good at acting. You don't have to treat them like they're gods.
You treat Tom Cruise like he's a god, and in
No,
his
I
head he
don't.
is a
If I
god.
saw him in real life, I'd be like, hey, man, what's up? That's cool that
And he
you
goes, and then he just
goes,
starts talking about aliens and volcanoes and runs away.
yeah.
He runs away like this down the road with a fucking explosion in the background. Let's see what this looks like. What's this look like?
That's weird.
I know it's kind of weird and
It's
crazy.
like a parallel universe.
It is. It's a GoPro camera though. Yeah. Who do you think is the most overrated actor?
Yeah, I have one of those too.
I know we both have it. By the way, this is what I'm going to
I don't
use in
know.
upcoming flip trip videos. You can sneak it in the stores and people don't think you're fucking crazy. It just looks like you're talking to yourself.
I want to do like a crazy action skit with these, like underwater and like strap it to a car and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, I honestly have no idea. I'm not good at those are kind of questions that take me a while to think about.
I know. I'm trying to think of an actor that I just doesn't do what
There
I
are
want
there are
to.
actors that I see him in a movie and I'm like, oh, okay. I just can't think of him right now.
I know. It's tough. Uh,
That was a hard question you asked, sir or ma'am.
well, it's crazy. And the one questions I just don't like is when someone asks me, "What are your top 10 favorite horror films of all time?" It's like I can't do that off the top of my head. That takes 4 hours of contemplation.
Of course, and I can't even do it at all.
Hey, did you hear about Christy Mack? Her ex-boyfriend beat the shit out of her because she was with another guy. Let's talk about Christy Mack. Now, if you guys don't know, and I'm just gonna, she's a porn star. Her ex-boyfriend's an MMA fighter, and he beat the fuck out of her. But the thing is, she's a porn star. You were dating her when she was a porn star. I mean, you're gonna beat the shit out of her because she was with another guy. I think you should have already known that information.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is she a lesbian-only porn star?
Absolutely not. She took
Okay.
everything and
I don't know.
anything, everywhere and every day.
I don't even know who that is, so.
She was a dumpster for. All right. Scrolling through the questions here. John, you should do a movie on Sylvester Stallone Cobra. You and Chris are awesome. So,
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, la la.
I'm gonna put on some sunglasses.
I'm putting some sunglasses. I had my fucking plastic surgery. My face looks like it's swollen. I'm gonna try to show emotion right now. I still like Stallone, but yeah, he looks like he's definitely plumped up like a baked potato. Do you think Interstellar has a chance to be nominated for Best Picture? And I think yeah, it's an obvious nomination.
I would love it. I just want to see it so bad. I have yet to give a new release an A+ this year, and a lot of people were like, "Why did you give Dawn of the Planet of the Apes an A+?" And the reason is because I was driving home And I was like, should I give that an A plus? And I was literally thinking about it so much that I realized if I'm not confident about the grade, it's obviously not the grade I want to give it.
I agree.
Like if I wanted to give it an A plus, I would know it the second it ended.
I feel the same way. I mean, it was a good movie, but I knew when I was watching that movie, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, in the theater, it was really good, but I knew there was moments in there that I was just like, yeah, this could be better, and that's why it didn't get an A plus.
hmm I mean, it was just such a damn good movie. Same with Guardians. Just a couple scenes in Guardians where I'm like, not perfect.
Yeah. Uh,
I was too lenient with my A plus last year. I'll say that. And so I'm being a lot more.
A plus for what? Oh, all the movies that you gave it to?
Just in general, I was too lenient, and so I got to be. I'm more reserved with it this year.
Here's what I'm gonna say. If Gravity can get nominated, why can't Interstellar? You know, like,
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll have to see the
yeah.
movie first, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the trailer could be fucking nominated. I mean, come on. I
no,
mean,
I feel you completely.
yeah.
Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close can be nominated for Best Picture. Anything can.
Mm. Yes, talk about a movie that some political strings were definitely pulled for that movie, and no one remembers anything about it.
Nope.
All
As
right.
George Clooney said, he was like, people remember movies, not Oscars.
Yep, precisely. Here's a question, and you gotta give an answer on this. I think I already know your answer, but
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy versus the Avengers, which one is better?
Avengers.
I see. That's where I like the characters. I like Hulk. I like Iron Man. But the Guardians, to me, is more enjoyable to watch.
I'll tell you what, the point you made in your review was excellent, where you said
Thank you.
that the Avengers took like multiple movies to set up these characters. Guardians did it in like 40 minutes. That was an excellent, excellent, excellent point.
Thank you.
And it really, I was when I watched, I was like, "Fuck, he's totally right." It's just that um, it's the villain, dude. That's all it's the villain. Loki is to me a much better villain than Ronan, and I think a movie's as strong as its villain. I find Loki vastly more interesting psychologically as a villain since has direct relation to Thor, and he's involved with them in that way. He has like a purpose. To me, Ronan was just a power hungry evil guy as usual, and he just didn't find that. I didn't find that much interest in him as a villain.
Yeah, I mean, essentially 90% of the Marvel villains are just power-hungry, big evil guys. I mean, look at Thanos. I mean, that's what we're gonna
Mhm.
get from that character. My thing is, Guardians. You had so many heroes in that movie that were likable and fun, and you got to know them. That the villain, we can kind of go with kind of a more subtle, kind of forgettable villain because the heroes are really what that movie was about. We really didn't even. We just needed some bad guy for them to go up against. That's essentially all that movie needed, and.
Yeah, I feel it. I mean, I love the movie. I did. It's just if you compare the villains, Loki's better.
I agree. I agree. Loki is better. I agree. But you know what? Uh, Ronan the Accuser, though, looking at him and you look at Loki, one guy has a mullet that weighs 102 pounds, and the other guy, Ronan the Accuser, looks like a complete badass.
No, I'm saying he's a power hungry evil
Yes.
guy who could kill lots of people, but
Yes.
you know, so could Loki.
Yeah. He needed some more intellectual, like,
Yes.
scenes. Like, for example, you take Bane, powerhouse, badass, but he had an intellectual kind of vibe to him.
Yeah, especially that scene where he locks Bruce up and he's sitting there talking about how he's going to let him watch his city die and everything. Like he was a intellectually interesting villain. And with Ronan, he was just like, put up the shields,
Mhm.
go faster.
Not of your body, but of your spirit. Yeah. Not very memorable.
Mm-mm.
John, why don't you bodybuild?
What do you think the hell? What do you think he's doing? He's
Yeah,
building up his
I think
body.
he means like
I
really go
know,
for it, like and
like
start juicing,
competition and
eating
yeah.
10 meals a day. I don't have
He's
the
going to pose in front of lots
yeah.
of people and the coming. I feel like I'm coming every time I lift weights.
I literally do though. That's the truth. Getting a bicep pump is better than actually it's not. That's a lie.
He's
But either
coming.
way, Here's my
That's
problem.
coming.
I'm gonna tell you my problem. Right now, I don't eat enough. I work out every day extensively, but I'm not eating enough to gain mass from it. And I try to eat, but I just don't have the time to truly eat good food, 6 times a day.
You just need to like eat like a shit ton of chicken breasts and like.
I know, but you think about that. It sounds so much easier said than done because
I
then you
know,
gotta go
trust me.
cook it and
I
so.
know.
But you want to hear a story tonight though? We went to the store. I bought 3 packs of chicken tenderloins, grilled all of them. They're in a Tupperware container downstairs, just waiting to get eaten right after this video. Uh, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I just want everyone to know I'm really looking forward to eating some chicken breast after this video. So
That's
how's
good,
it?
man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, man. So let's talk about YouTube here for a second. YouTube. I mean, that's what we're all doing here, right? By the way, the reason we're doing a live Q&A because this is one of the funnest things I like to do. I think you do too. It's just fun
Mhm.
to talk. And I was gonna do a recorded one, but I was like, yeah, it takes too much work. So that's why we're here right now. And now, what's your next movie review?
Well, Expendables 3. I'm gonna review that tomorrow, and then The Giver the next day.
Okay. Yep. I'm same schedule for me except The Giver not happening. But Expendables 3, I will shoot the review for that tomorrow. I kind of want to do. I almost want to do a Stallone impression and paint on a goatee on my face.
That should be a good idea. I kind of want to do something where I just talk about how like every '80s action star for some reason had to have like a fucked up voice.
They're all inaudible almost.
It's
They're
like
all
Jean-Claude Van Damme's like, oh, Antonio Banderas, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Wah! It's like they're all like have really fucked up voice. I like how you have a completely straight face right now.
Oh no, I was just thinking. I was literally deep in thought thinking about Harrison Ford's voice in the movie. God damn it!
Exactly. I was
Fucking
gonna.
flying helicopters!
It was the next one I was gonna do.
Damn it! Get off my plane! I'm fucking gurgling something in my throat right now.
I don't know if I told you this, but I saw an interview with Hugh Jackman where the person who was interviewing him asked how he was able to get angry for his takes as Wolverine because he seems like such a cool and happy, nice guy. And he was like, I actually learned a trick from Harrison Ford. He just sticks a bunch of Altoids in his mouth before each take. He was like, yeah, I guess Harrison Ford just takes like a handful of Altoids, crunches them up, and obviously he'd be like teary-eyed and angry and like red-faced mad after that.
Oh man, I just put a little of soy sauce in my eyeball.
Oh
Uh,
man, I mean, you don't want to actually hurt yourself.
oh yeah, physical pain's the best way to get real emotion out. Do you guys actually read these questions? Yes, I do, Leo Cortez. I'm reading them right now. I'm going down the list. Um, favorite era for cinema?
Hmm. I actually don't have one. I don't have like a favorite era. I just because I mean, great movies come out every year.
Yeah, here's my thing. When you think it's obviously I didn't really start seeing movies in the theaters until the early 90s, but you go in the 70s, everything was gritty, grimy, realistic for the most part. Then you go into 80s and then the whole culture shifted into light, fun, fluffy, feel good. And then the 90s it was kind of like, it was a mixed bag of everything. And then now in the 2000s it's still a mixed bag, but you can still get away with making that cheesy light shit, but you can also make the serious stuff. And I think right now is probably one of the best times for movies, especially in the last 5 years or so, or at least to
Hmm.
me it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's good and bad. There are certain advancements that suck, like people view shaky cam as something that's good. I don't know
Art,
why.
artistic value.
Yeah.
We're gonna go there and we're gonna kill him, and then we're gonna fucking. Yeah, I can't. No, it's fucking lazy. It's slop. It's to save money on shooting a movie. It's obviously easier to hold a handheld camera, but shake it rather than do a tripod shot and then actually choreograph scenes or actually give you good special effects.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, I've said it
Yeah,
a billion times, but that's the way I feel too.
yeah, fucking Hollywood, man. All right, let's answer a few more questions here. It's 2:36 in the morning. What time did we start this thing? How long
Yeah,
have
I
we
don't know.
been
I
talking?
gotta get to bed soon.
I know your Ovaltine's all gone. You're tired. I want to eat chicken breast. And we said we were going to do this for 30 minutes, and I think it's going on over an hour.
Hmm.
Why are Jennifer Aniston's legs so sexy? Jennifer Aniston, that is a woman like a fine wine who just gets better with age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's called working out and eating and yoga,
It's called being sexy.
having a nice tan.
She does have a nice tan. All right. It just got eerie all of a sudden, didn't it? Like,
She can afford to have a nice tan.
yeah, she can. Question about Norbit. I'm just not going to talk about that movie.
That's the second time today that someone's mentioned me Norbit in real life. Like you just mentioned it to me earlier. I was at lunch with my friend, and we started talking about Norbit. I was like, "Why are we talking about this?"
Here's a question. I want to jump into it and back me up if you agree or disagree. Best performance by a child actor for me, it's River Phoenix and Stand By Me. Now I have a weird theory since he mentioned River Phoenix. I think I mentioned this to you once. River Phoenix and Leonardo DiCaprio were essentially the same age, had similar looks, same kind of style, and I have this theory that if River Phoenix never would have passed away in the 90s, that a lot of roles you see Leo in right now, River Phoenix would be up for some of those roles. I think they both had that same kind of acting style, and I think they wanted to go after those award-winning movies. That's just my weird theory. So in Titanic, who knows? It could have been River Phoenix instead of Leonardo playing Jack Dawson.
You know, he was great in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Mm-hmm.
He was great in
Stand By Me?
Stand by Me, but the Mosquito Coast was a Peter Weir film with Harrison Ford that's like really unknown, and he played Harrison Ford's son in that movie, and that was actually how he got the gig for Last Crusade because he had like perfected a Harrison Ford impression. Harrison Ford suggested River Phoenix for Last Crusade, and yeah, he was great. Haley Joel Osment in Sixth Sense is fantastic.
God damn it!
You think that's what he did for his impression of Harrison Ford?
God damn it!
That's probably what he did.
Well, that's old Harrison. Harrison Ford, when he got older, just sounded like he got grumpier.
Harrison Ford in the 80s was like, Dad!
See, right there. See, you get the 80s impression down, and I'll do the, like, 2012 impression.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Haley Joel Osment in Sixth Sense is amazing. You know what? I just rewatched the movie Oculus. Now, I know that I am in the minority in thinking it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
The young girl in that movie was fucking fantastic. She was fucking fantastic. I really thought she did a great job in the movie.
Yeah, she might have done really good. It was one of those movies that I watched it and I was like, and I forgot it 12 hours later.
I just really like the way it's directed. It's really eerie. It's really creepy. There's a lot of suggestion going on. I love when a suspense director does that. He doesn't just show you all this shit. He like suggests things, and you start to kind of formulate it in your mind. And yeah, I thought it was really clever, a really clever movie.
To me, I'm going to say this. It was produced by WWE Studios, and all of their movies kind of have the same look to me. They all kind of look like when they're in a set or a room or something. It looks like a set. It looks like when they go into a warehouse in Oculus, right? It looks like it's a set. It doesn't feel like a real environment. That's how all those WWE films. They just look like sets to me. It's just some weird thing I'm picking up, I guess, but nothing feels real. It just feels so produced.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I just have a soft spot for, like horror suspense films that I feel are actually, like they're actually attempting to make a good film and not just, let's just show some blood, boobs, like they actually try.
Jump scare.
Right.
Do you like the movie The Ring better than Oculus?
The Ring is more frightening than Oculus, but I also find, I think Oculus, for me anyway, is actually faster paced.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it all takes place in the house, basically. The Ring has truly frightening moments, but then it has some really dull moments, like where she goes and visits the house and looks around. There's an old dude in there, and it's like, okay, I get it.
Well, then he electrocutes himself in the bathtub. The thing about, I like mystery, and I like adventurous, scary movies that kind of go place to place trying to solve the mystery, and that's why I like The Ring. And Oculus, to me, it was like they kept having that parallel storytelling aspect of it, where they showing the kids when they're younger, older, and
which I loved.
I like that concept, but I feel like at times I was just like, I don't care about I liked the older when they were older. I like that part of it, but when they were younger, I was like, I don't know. I got bored by it a little bit.
I thought Katie Sackhoff was great in the movie. I think one of the things that shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you said you like when they were older. The man in the movie, the brother, he's in The Giver. He plays
He looks like Justin Long's brother.
but yeah, he's in The Giver. He plays the lead in The Giver.
Okay, yeah,
I think he's a good
I
new
don't know.
talent. I think he's a really good new talent.
I thought his performance was all right, innocuous.
Maybe Brenton Thwaites, I think is what his name is.
Yeah, that sounds like it's right. Shutter Island, underrated or overrated?
Underrated, in my opinion.
I think at the time it got the respect it deserved. I mean, it didn't really live on in the memories of a lot of people. But I remember watching the movie and thinking, there you go, there's kind of a good suspense thriller type deal. Yeah, and for that aspect, it gave me what I wanted.
I think people sometimes, and understandably so, look at a director like Steven Spielberg or Martin Scorsese and they take them for granted.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, well, that wasn't as good as his other ones. I'm like, but yeah, that movie was still better than every other movie out right now. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Now, let me ask you this about Shutter Island. Now, just real quick, we don't have to go deep into this. What was your interpretation of the ending of the movie? Was he imagining it all the entire time, like in his head? Or did he actually go nuts? Was he a normal guy who went nuts?
Oh, no, like it's pretty clear like what happens that, he had a wife, she killed their children. He kind of developed this thing in his head that he had to investigate that, and it allowed him to like keep them alive. But then there's all these hints throughout the movie, like he's walking around and seeing dead children, and you find out those are his kids. I think the main question most people have about the movie is, at the end, is he reverting back to his fantasy, or is he allowing his fantasy, or is he faking it just so he can be lobotomized and not have to think about it anymore? And I think he's faking it just so he can be lobotomized, because he says, what's the line? He's like, would you rather live as a monster or die as a good man? And then he walks away. And then the thing that tells me it is right in that moment, Mark Ruffalo stands up and says, and calls him by his actual name, not by his fake name.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he doesn't answer. He just walks away. He doesn't show any restraint against the guards. He just looks at them and then just starts walking away with them. Like, yeah, he totally fucking knows what he did. He would rather die than have to live with that knowledge.
Okay, fair enough. I always thought there was hints in the movie maybe I'm making out to be more than it was, but just like the beginning there, it just seems like there's so much imaginary things happening. Like they're on a foggy boat going to the island. It just feels like, how did we even get here? It's kind of, it just feels like
imaginary. Like they're setting up a thing for him. Like they're setting up a whole charade for him to follow.
Okay, that's what I remember. My details are foggy on this movie.
They basically set up an entire
for him to work through. It was like it was a therapy.
Entire fake investigation for him to solve on his own as a form of therapy.
Okay, that's right. Okay, yes. All right. Do you guys know anything about Avatar 2, 3, and 4? I know it's going to have 9-foot-tall blue aliens, and it's going to be CGI. Directed by James Cameron.
It will inspire a lot more Avatar porn on the internet.
Oh, man. I'm going to tell you, every time they make those, it's always like they're all blue, and then the one part that it gets all rubbed off on, it's just weird. It makes you wonder what kind of paint they're using so they don't get an infection. That's the kind of thing that I think about when I watch Avatar porn. All right, let's keep going. Let's answer just a few more here. I want something groundbreaking here. I want something that's going to blow my melon open.
Do you remember when Avatar first came out, everyone was like, there's a deleted sex scene where they join their stuff together? Everyone was like talking about that.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it was like everyone was just like, oh my god, there's a deleted Avatar sex scene. Everyone was trying to find it.
I know. I tried to find it on the when I bought the special edition Blu-ray. I was like, they better put that on here, and I want to see their ponytails wrap around under the tree of life. Damn it! And I just think they knew it would have become a mockery had they put it in the movie.
Yeah, smart move.
Yeah. A lot of questions we've covered quite a few times.
Do you like Fight Club, John?
I fucking hate it. No, I love it.
Do you like Star Wars?
Fucking hate it. I love it.
You sound like Nick Nolte.
That's a real good movie, but I thought George Lucas could have done better.
Would you ever do a live debate on a film instead of a Q&A? A live debate back and forth on a film. I feel like we kind of had a few little debates here tonight.
Yeah, what was the one we disagreed on? Guardians and Avengers?
Yeah, and then Oculus kind of. And
yeah, we do that. And see, the people that I really like that are really good to talk to are the people who can actually have a debate about a movie, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's your opinion, man. Like Big Lebowski, but they don't, they don't hate you or think you're an idiot. Like the people that I'm friends with are people who can do that because it's a sign of maturity. It's like, yes, this is my opinion, but I'm also okay with yours, and I understand it.
Yeah, I want to take his face off. So that was a question.
How is that an answer to a question?
He said, He said, face off quote.
Oh, okay.
Eat
a peach for hours.
Eat a peach for hours. There was a question here I actually wanted to answer. Oh, here's what I wanted to say about in regards to what we just talked about, having movie debates. The thing that bothers me the most is, and we both, you get it in the comment section, and believe it or not, guys, I read probably 90% of my comments. If I have a chance to read them, I'm reading them. I really do. And, you put up like a review for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? I love the Ninja Turtles. Love everything about them. But just because I don't think the movie's that good doesn't mean I don't like the Ninja Turtles any less. It just means that movie was not that good that contained the Ninja Turtles in it. And just because you're a fan of Ninja Turtles or like Spider-Man, it doesn't mean you have to like the movie because you're a fan of the character. It's just, I feel like these scripts for these movies that contain these characters are a little bit lackluster, and I want them to be good, but that's just not the case most of the time.
Yeah, I agree. It's the same with like the fourth Indiana Jones movie. I mean, it crushed me to say that movie wasn't very good. It was like, I was just like, it wasn't good. Oh god. I mean, there are parts of it that are good, but then there are more parts of it that aren't, and it's just you're sitting there like, oh shit.
And the thing is, it could easily be so much better than it was.
Of course. I mean, like there are parts of it I really like, and there are some really cool scenes and everything, and overall it's it's a good-looking movie, it's just the fucking script. Oh, and then like the things they made him do, fucking monkeys and shit. It's been talked about a billion times, but that's kind of what I mean. Like, and I agree with you about, like, for instance, Spider-Man. Not a big fan of the new reboot films. But I've been a Spider-Man fan my entire life. I mean,
and we want it to be good. We would love to fucking see a great Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
I love the character. It's just they just can't simply do it. And I told you this when we went to LA a few weeks ago. I watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It was on a plane. They show movies a little bit earlier on the plane. And I was 25 minutes into it, and I was watching Jamie Foxx like fucking destroy Manhattan. He's like, "It's my birthday. I'm gonna blow up my candle, Spider-Man." And I fucking ended it right there. I was like, "Dude, I just tried. I tried again, and I had nothing better to do than watch it, and I couldn't."
I know what you mean. I have a friend who is a humongous comic book fan, and I mean, he really is. Like, he's got stacks and stacks and stacks of them. You ask him like an obscure question about issue 17 that came out in 1992, and he'll have the answer.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even watch it. Like, he watched the trailer and was like, "It's not good. I know it's not good," and didn't even watch it. And I'm not going to condone that type of behavior. I watched the movie. I'm just saying, like, most people who are a fan of Spider-Man from the comics, majority of them feel like it's not what it needs to be, and it's not that the portrayal of Spider-Man's wrong. It's just the scripts aren't very good for these movies. And sure, it's fun to watch Spider-Man swing around, but there's more to it than that. The Spider-Man comics were always a lot more deeper than some of the other ones because you were able to relate to him. He had so many problems, and it wasn't just like these strung together movies where there's 17 minutes of deleted scenes.
Yeah, and terribly deleted scenes. All the scenes that were deleted, obviously for a reason, but it just goes to show that not a lot of forethought was put into it, and they realized that on the editing room floor, and they're gonna chop all this fucking shit out to make it make some kind of weird sense so people don't hate it. And the one scene that was deleted, and if you guys know what I'm talking about, the major deleted scene from Amazing Spider-Man 2, it just goes to show that they really didn't have a fucking idea what they were doing. They had no future-proof plan for that. So,
it just felt like a 2-hour teaser for Sinister Six.
Yeah, with random shit to shoehorn in there just to say, here's the character, here's the hobgoblin. He's just gonna, okay, I'm fucked up now. I'm gonna crawl into my hobgoblin thing that's just laying right beside me now. Thank God it's painted green.
Thank God I can master this heliglider thing in 10 seconds and figure out exactly how to fly, even though I've never done it ever.
I know, and I would love for it to be a good movie. I wanted it to be good. And another, like, I'm a huge Batman fan, right? Since watching the VHS of Batman, the '89 Batman movie at home in the early '90s, watched it every day. Fucking love Batman. And I remember going to the theater and watching Batman and Robin. I remember going to that theater because Batman Forever, I was like, that's not what I want, even as a kid. But I was like, okay, fuck it, whatever. Okay, it's Batman. But Batman and Robin, I sat there in the theater, and my little undeveloped brain as a child even knew this is fucking shit. That's a huge Batman fan, and you got to admit things like that. Even if you love the character, you have to admit when the movie's not good.
Yeah, it's funny. I was at an age where I just was like, oh, I guess that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to accept that. Because, I mean, when Batman and Robin came out, I was like 10. And so it's just like, oh, I guess I'll accept that.
Yeah.
So that's Batman. I mean, I love the animated series growing up, and the Mask of the Phantasm movie, which, by the way, really needs to be released on Blu-ray now. But, yeah, and then all of a sudden Batman Begins came out, and something clicked in my head like, oh, that's what they could do with that. Like, it just made sense.
I used to meet you.
You are not sending me to the cooler.
Chill out, bird boy.
God, I mean, I can't believe that movie got made, dude. That's just one of those movies where when you're watching it, you're like, fucking how did this happen?
Well, it happened because they wanted to sell more fucking toys.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know they literally put scenes in the script specifically for certain toys they wanted to sell.
Yep, and that's sad. That's just... but you know what? With every dark cloud, there is a silver lining, and without the shitty, terrible fucking Batman and Robin movie, guys, if we never went that bad with Batman in a movie, we never would have got Batman Begins. They had to go shit to get something amazing out of it, because let's think about it. If Batman and Robin would have been successful, if that movie made a shit ton of money, Joel Schumacher would have came back and directed another Batman and Robin type movie. So
let me ask you a question. When Batman Begins was announced as the title, did you think it was weird?
I'll give you my backstory on the first time I experienced Batman Begins. Sitting in the theater, all of a sudden I see, this guy walking around these mountaintops. I'm like, what is this? What's going on here? It looked like a completely different movie. I was like, is this like a Bruce Wayne movie without Batman in it? Kind of was going there. And all of a sudden he opens up the cabinet door, and there's like a Batman mask. Chills went down my body. And with the title Batman Begins, I was okay with it. I was glad. I was glad we were kind of rebooting it.
Yeah, I thought it was a strange title at first, because I was all the way. I mean, I was watching them talking about, let's do Batman versus Superman, like Kevin Smith was talking about it, and then it was called Batman: The Intimidation Game for a while, and then they were like, it's called Batman Begins. And I was just like, it's kind of an odd title. But now it just is that title. It's the same thing happened with The Dark Knight Rises. People were like, that title's kind of, I don't know about that title. That's kind of weird. And now that's just what it is. It should be called that.
Yeah. What was the name of that Denzel Washington movie, or Book of Eli? Who directed that? Do you remember there was like
they were brothers? I forget what their names were.
Yeah. Anyway, well, at one time they had the option, or they were approached about directing a new Batman movie. This is a few years before Batman Begins, and they had a take on the movie where they're like, we want to just have an old Batman. They're like, basically, we want Clint Eastwood as Batman.
Wow.
That was their kind of take on it, and one thing led to another, and it didn't happen. But yeah,
Batman.
Yeah, I'll come over there and kick your ass, Joker. All right. Let's answer one more question here. Uh, One more question. Fair enough. Is that good with you?
One more question.
Okay. Two more. There's two more questions on here I like. Okay. Did you guys see the trailer for John Schnapp's documentary on the Kevin Smith slash Tim Burton Superman Lives movie? Chris?
Yes, I did. That's definitely enticing to me. I just hope they didn't show all the awesome stuff in the trailer, because I don't know, man. Like, I mean, you guys probably know that John and I really like Nicolas Cage.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah.
so
For a lot of people who don't know, I'll just at one time there was a Tim Burton movie. It was going to be a Superman movie directed by Tim Burton with Nicolas Cage in it, and there was all this stuff created, all this pre-production things put together with scenes and concepts, and essentially John Schnepp uncovered all that and made a documentary about it. So
hmm And he's looking for Kickstarter funds to finish it. So
yeah,
it sounds cool. I mean, obviously, I'd be interested in seeing it.
yeah. I mean, I definitely love to watch it, talk about it, and but I just seen Nick Cage with like a mullet flying around, and like, some of the scenes but they did show one scene in that trailer for his documentary where Nick Cage actually is done up like Superman. He flies in and lands on the concrete,
Yeah.
and I was like, that looks okay. I kind of thought that looked all right.
Mm. I
Um,
mean, you could probably just like contact John and be like, "Hey, do you want us to review your movie?" I mean, like, I don't know. He might want us to see it. Who
oh,
knows?
if he could give me the link to it or something online and watch it, yeah, definitely I would. Let John Schnepp know we want to watch his movie.
Yeah. We'll
All
watch
right,
Superman Lives.
I
We'll
will
talk about
watch
it.
it. Plus, I like Kevin Smith. I don't know why. I just like when the guy talks.
Me too. Because he's just like just a dude. I like people who are just themselves. They don't seem fake, and they're just
Yeah,
like, yeah, this is me. This is what I do. It's what I love.
yeah. I like how honest and candid he is, and I love that he kind of opens up the business of Hollywood and kind of just throws it on the table like this is how fucking crazy it is. This is how weird it is. And this is
Mhm.
this is what really happened. All right, there's one more question on there. Fuck, where did that fucking question go? Um.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Let me check. I'm gonna check the other Q&A area. There's like two Q&A things. There's one on the Google Hangout area, and there's a. My brain hurts. It's getting late. I want a chicken breast. All right, or normal, or a female normal breast. All right. What role would you like to see Tom Hardy in? He did Bane. That's what I fucking needed. That's what I wanted. I love it. He did Warrior, badass once again, and now he's playing Elton John. But he's the new Mad Max movie. I like when he just plays a rugged badass kind of role. That's the kind of roles I like to see Tom Hardy in. So essentially, he's kind of covered everything I've ever wanted to see him do.
He's great. Yeah, you should check out Locke.
I've heard good things about that, and you said it was good. And can
It
I
just came out on Blu-ray.
now? I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and we don't. If it spoils anything, don't tell me. Essentially, he spends the majority of the movie or the film in his car, right?
Correct. Correct.
Does he ever get out of his vehicle?
I'll say you should just watch it.
Okay, so that's the ending. He gets out of his car. All right.
I'm
I,
not saying that at all, and you shouldn't assume things you don't know, Jonathan.
does he get in a car crash and die?
This is not Michael Bay's film, dude. It's a
So
very subdued film with performances are the
does his
key.
car turn into a robot at any point in this movie?
Yes, and then
Pretty awesome.
Shia LaBeouf is locked in the trunk, and at the end of the movie, he opens up the trunk, and Shia LaBeouf is like, "Let me out!" and he just punches him in the face and shuts the trunk on him.
Right then and there would have been a great time to share that Shia LaBeouf picture we took in LA. Right then and there would have been a fucking phenomenal time to just have that thing pop up on the screen.
Yeah, we saw a Shia LaBeouf wax figure at a wax museum, and we just
And
gave him a disapproving stare.
I took his manhood. I'll
Mm.
say that. But anyway, guys, we'll leave it there with the taking of the manhood of Shia LaBeouf.
Great way to end it.
That's the only way you can end it. That's how everything should end, with Shia LaBeouf crying. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining us for a new Q&A. Thanks for all the great questions. And yeah, we'll do more of these. We did one just a week or two ago, and we'll do another one maybe next week. So
Yeah, we'll try to make it more regular.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and depending where you're at, good morning, good night. I'm gonna go eat some chicken breast, and we'll see you next time.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.